Hey guys, welcome to Big Loz Official. Liz is with me today.
It's an emergency video.
We hope everyone's okay and safe, obviously, with everything that's been going on. And up until yesterday, there wasn't an awful lot of news to talk about in the strongman world.
No, in any sports.
No, it's been pretty diabolical if you're a sports fan or any kind of entertainment fan.
Yeah.
But we haven't killed each other yet, so that's good.
Not yet.
Haven't killed the kids.
1 week done.
Yeah. But around to serious business. So the guys from World Ultimate Strongman and Thor are working together to make a 501 deadlift happen. Can Thor break Eddie Hall's 500 kilo deadlift world record? I had a chat with the guys from Wush yesterday.
Yes.
They have asked me to commentate on it. So with modern technology, I'm going to be commentating from the comfort of my own home, which is nice.
2 meters away from
2 meters, yeah. Keeping up the social distancing. Actually, we're a bit close.
We are a bit.
Push you away. So we thought we'd make a little quick video just discussing the 501 attempt. Can Thor do it? Get your thoughts, my thoughts, Liz's thoughts. And just something fun for strength fans to
Something
get
to talk about.
Yeah, normally, this is kind of my honest opinion. I like to see these type of events done in proper competition. Mm-hmm. So when Eddie went for the 500, it was at Europe's Strongest Man in front of 10,000 people. That kind of atmosphere makes a big difference. You know, the kind of adrenaline rush you get from being in that kind of environment makes a difference to these type of events and attempts.
So you haven't actually explained the environment that it's going to be done in.
So, yeah. This is going to be an official record. We're going to have an official referee who's going to be Magnus the Magnusson, who is, everyone regards him as pretty much the best referee out there. He's very strict. He's disallowed many of the top guys' lifts in many events, myself included. He's disallowed Eddie's deadlift.
Yeah.
When Europe's Strongest Man, when he dropped it.
460.
So there's no one better to be there and, you know, decide whether it's a proper lift or not. So Magnus will be the referee.
Did Magnus give Eddie his 500? Not give it to him, but was he the ref on the day?
I don't think he was. No.
No.
It was. I think it was Dave.
BT?
No.
Warner?
Dave Warner. But another good referee actually. But Magnus is kind of the official referee from World's Strongest Man. Yeah. He's refereed many competitions, and he's a no-nonsense kind of guy. You know, he's not afraid to
screwed us over before. Love you, Magnus.
Yeah, no, he's a fair referee.
Yeah,
you know,
we love Magnus. We're big Magnus fans.
He's constant across the board. He's not like some people that might give a rep to someone and then stricter for someone else. He's very strict across the board. It's being done in Thor's own gym, which people are going to kind of moan about, but we're in a situation in the world right now where it's either that or nothing, to be quite honest. And like I said, normally I would prefer it to be at an event. Obviously, this was planned for Bahrain, which was the original goal, but Thor's said he's in good shape. He thinks he's capable of doing it. So the guys want to make this happen. It's going to be live streamed for free, I believe.
It is for free. It's on the 2nd of May.
2nd of May. So it'll be live streamed. I'm going to be commentating on it. And Thor is going to give it a hell of an attempt. He's probably the only guy I feel that has a chance of breaking the record right now. I know there's a few other guys that names have been talked about. A couple of people have attempted it, but they haven't really looked close to doing it in terms of really giving it a good crack. Thor looks in amazing shape right now. He just won the Arnold's. He's come back from a little bit of time off. He's a very determined man. That same kind of mindset as Eddie Hall. You know, they're the type of people that when they get their mind set on something, they
dogs of a bone.
They keep going until they get it. And I would love to see Eddie at his best versus maybe Thor
in a deadlift challenge.
Yeah, that deadlift that Eddie did at Europe's 2016 was incredible. It took the sport to a completely another level. It absolutely. I mean, you know, I thought 500 kilos was taking the record up by a huge amount. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
of
just
course.
breaking it a little bit. Now Thor's aiming to break it just by a small amount.
Yeah.
But to call himself the best deadlifter in the world, I think he feels he needs this record to really claim that he's the best in the world. And, you know, he's won World's Strongest Man now. He's won Europe's God knows how many times.
Yeah.
He's won multiple huge titles.
He's won everything there is to win.
Yeah, he is. In my eyes, he's the best strongman on the planet right now. But I think for him, he needs this record, and he's going to be determined to break it. So the question is, do we think he can do it?
Wow. Yeah, I think he can do it. Yeah, I do. And I think it's worth mentioning as well that at Thor's gym, because people will say, oh, you know, wow, they probably won't say fake weights, but there are some really stupid
They
people
are
out there.
using calibrated plates, so the weights will be exactly what it's meant to be. It will be 501 kilos. There's no arguing with that.
And Thor held a powerlifting competition at his gym, so there's no, do you know what I mean?
The rules won't be
Question
an
about the
issue.
integrity.
It's just we're in a very peculiar position in the world right
Yeah.
now that unfortunately, I mean, the rules are actually different in Iceland than they are in the UK right now. So in the UK, we're not allowed more than, you're not allowed to have groups of anyone meeting.
No, so
Yeah,
no
we're
groups
sort
larger than two.
Unless you're in your own family household,
Yeah,
you know, you can't go out and meet other people. In Iceland at the moment, they're allowed to still have groups of 20 people.
okay.
So they're allowed bigger gatherings. The you know, spread of the coronavirus is much smaller over there. And,
Should we get into coronavirus reporting?
yeah, I want to try and avoid it as much as possible. But
Well, the virus or the talking
both.
about it?
I've listened to way too much about it. And,
Yeah.
I just want something strongman related to talk about.
He's got the death toll on loop on YouTube. So I've obviously it's been announced today by both Wuss and Thor, and I've been reading some comments because I love it.
Go on, tell us what comments you
well,
see.
I thought I'd like bring a few to your attention. Some that got a bit of attention online, just to hear your thoughts and opinions and a bit of a discussion point. So one. Oh, why is he only breaking it by 1 kilo? Why not by 10 kilos?
Because breaking a world record by 1 kilo is a smart thing to do. Eddie had the 500 kilos in his head. I mean, 500 kilos is such a marker that to set out. But once you hit that 500, the next logical kind of step from that is going to be like 550 or like, you know, 1,200 pounds or something like that.
In terms of a really sort of poignant, defined.
So there's no real need to go beyond that.
No.
You know, if Thor's going to get bonuses for breaking records, or any athlete's going to get, I mean, it's like Zadrunas on the log. He actually was capable of a lot more in his prime, but he just kept breaking it by small amounts.
Yeah.
He was never pushed enough to kind of go to that.
And we shouldn't forget that at one point, Eddie was breaking the deadlift world record by a kilo at a time, wasn't he? About 2015, maybe early 2016. It was like
No.
Wasn't he?
No.
Okay.
Eddie, he basically
I'm going to check my sources and.
I think Eddie got the record at around 265.
265.
Sorry, 465.
Yeah.
And then it was like.
Wasn't it like 463s, 464s, 465?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. You're thinking of my personal records.
Am I?
And I was only beating it by a kilo because that's all I could do.
But that's a good point, though. All you can do. Surely we must be close to the limit of.
Well, this is
human
another thing. I mean,
capability.
people say, why is he only going for 1 kilo above it? Probably, realistically, that's what he's capable of.
Yeah.
You know, a 10 kilo jump at 500 kilos, percentage-wise, is much greater than a 10 kilo jump at 100 kilos. And you got to remember, these guys are still made of the same thing as the rest of us. You know, we're all just flesh and bone.
Yeah.
The strain that those heavier weights put on your body is tremendous. You know, I see people kind of, they lift 150 kilos or something like that, and then they're complaining about what the top guys are doing, not realizing the impact that these weights have on their bodies. It takes so much more out of your body when you're lifting, you know, 400 kilos as it does to 100, 150.
Yeah, of course.
It takes longer to recover from. There's much greater chance of injury. You know, these guys are putting themselves on the line. I mean, we know what Eddie went through to do the 500 kilo deadlift. You know,
I felt like we all went through it too.
You saw the state of him behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, the mental preparation, the physical kind of exhaustion afterwards. It's hell of a strain on the body, and you just can't appreciate how mentally tough you have to be to kind of put yourself into that kind of state. So 1 kilo is the smart choice and probably the limit as well right now. He's never lifted this weight. So,
No.
you know, it would be foolish to just try and jump 10 kilos.
Another comment then. Oh God.
Have you forgotten?
Oh, it won't count because it's not in competition.
Okay. And this is a valid point, okay? But this has been set up officially. And like I said, it's not Thor putting it on. There's people involved. It's Worcester putting it on. The World Ultimate Strongman as a federation have put this on. This was originally going to go on anyway, but in Bahrain.
Yeah.
Now they're doing it as a separate one. It's like a show lift kind of thing. And I've said I would rather see it at a competition with all the best guys involved. But right now, the world's in a weird situation.
We'll take what we can get.
Yeah, for me, it's something to look forward to. It's something to discuss. It's going to get the fans talking. And we're in a situation where this is the best we can offer right now. So, you know, we don't know how long lockdown is going to be like it is. We don't know how long it's going to be till comps are back up and running properly. And
the thing to remember as well, countries are in sort of different stages in terms of development of this virus. So even though we might come out of lockdown, it doesn't mean the other countries have. And
you know,
people
countries
travel from all over the
flying,
world.
athletes being able to get anywhere is going to be an issue.
Yeah.
So, you know, in terms of sport this year,
it's still going to take longer beyond.
None of us know when it's going to be back on.
No.
So this gives us something to look forward to. It's a legitimate, you know, attempt with calibrated plates. One of the best strength referees in the world is going to be commentating on it. It's going to be broadcast live for everyone to see. This isn't just a gym lift.
No.
It's so much more than that. Thor will have all his yes men. I'm going to call them yes men because that's what people call them. But actually, there's a lot of them that are good friends of mine.
Yeah, they're really nice.
And I mean, you know, one of those yes men is a former 4th place World's Strongest Man, Stefan Solvi Pettersson. He understands the sport tremendously.
One of them's your coach as well, isn't he?
He'll be stuck in Australia.
Oh yeah, of course. He's
yeah.
locked himself down as well.
He won't be able to get there.
No.
But Thor has a lot of good people around him.
Yeah.
That are very, very knowledgeable and very supportive of him.
Yeah.
So they'll create an atmosphere of at least 1,000, just with the 10 or 20 of them are in the room. What are you doing to the cat?
I tried to crush. She jumped. I made her jump. Okay, another thing. So, someone said it was harder for Eddie because he had the pressure of the crowd.
No, I disagree. Having a crowd is better. The pressure you put on yourself is just what you do. You know, Eddie would have put a lot of pressure on himself to do that. But having the crowd is actually a benefit. It's not a hindrance if you're an elite level athlete and you can cope with that pressure, which Eddie, Thor, myself, you know, all the top guys or most of the top guys like the crowd there because it puts you into that kind of fight or flight sensation that, you know, I can't underperform in front of all these people. Yeah. Whereas if it's on your own in the gym with kind of no one watching, it's a bit different.
Where's the motivation?
Yeah, so I disagree with that 100%. Obviously, the day that Eddie did the 500 was the same day I won Europe's. And I managed to raise my level on certain events way, way higher than I would have done in the gym. So I totally disagree with that comment.
Trying to think of other things people have said. People are so bitchy, aren't they?
There's always going to be differing opinions, and that's why we have these videos. You know, I'm sure other people will do videos, and we've all got different opinions. Personally, I'd love to see Thor get this. You know, I think he needs it to really establish himself as the best. That being said, if he does beat it, it takes nothing away from Eddie's 500. He's the first. It's like the first guy to run 4-minute mile. The first person to go under 10 seconds for
it will always be remembered.
When you're the first to do something, and Eddie said this himself, and he's totally right in saying it. When you're the first to do it, you're always going to be remembered. You know, now you're going to get Thor might get the 501, and then someone will come and do 502, and eventually it'll be up at 510. Yeah. But Eddie will always be the first guy to pull 500 kilos.
And if Thor can do
like
it, he'll be...
Andy Bolton was the first guy to pull 1,000
pounds. Yeah.
It's, you know, no one can ever take those kind of records away from you.
And Thor could be remembered as the guy who beat it as well. Because it's been a long-standing record at this point, nearly 4 years.
Yeah, it's not bad for a record.
Not bad for a deadlift. It's good.
Especially, I mean, some records last a lot longer than that. Some don't, you know, get beat or some get beat very quickly. Yeah. But
we went through a period of time where it was being beaten. Beaten? Is that a word? Every year, it was being bettered.
The thing with the strongman deadlift is it has to be separated from the powerlifting.
Of
deadlift.
course, yeah.
And at one point, the Strongman deadlift was behind the powerlifting deadlift world record. I mean, myself and Brian Shaw had it joint at 430 kilos in 2011. And then just the progression from then to 2016 when Eddie pulled 500.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
It was a constant, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the powerlifting record now has stood for a long time, which is Benedict Magnusson.
Is it still Benny?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, you know, having the discussion of who's the best of all time, because people are at their best at different times.
Yeah.
So
that's a different video.
If Eddie came back now, he would not pull 500 kilos.
No.
It would take so much. I actually don't believe Eddie will ever step back and pull those kind of numbers, because he dedicated his life to pulling those numbers, and now he has other goals.
Yeah.
He's got other things to focus on. And I think his body would struggle to come back and do it. He suffered injuries. You know, he willingly and openly said he kind of, you know, took years off his career to get the job done. Yeah. And it would be foolish of him to try and even come back.
I don't think he would.
I don't think he would. Eddie's a smart guy. He's not going to come and... It would just jeopardise his reputation more than anything. Yeah. As much as I'd love to see it. I'd love to see like what he could do. But the same, I could say the same about Zadrunas. Zadrunas in his prime could have pushed the log way higher than it is. Yeah. Unfortunately, Father Time catches up with you, and you know he only beat what he had to beat.
Father Time, calm down, Uncle Loz.
Uncle Loz giving out good advice to the youngsters these days.
Should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. Yeah. Right. Comment below. Let us know who you think is, or if you think Thor is capable.
Who's gonna be?
Yeah. Who's gonna win, Eddie or Thor? There's only Thor there, so he can only win or he can come last. He's gonna give it a great attempt. You know, the guy's very, very focused. I believe he can do it. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, we'll see you on the 2nd of May.